these I read through these like group chat takes, and like it is such an obvious demonstration of like the worst aspects of like hyper online Twitter individuals who like present themselves as like super fucking woke or whatever the fuck on the internet. Meanwhile, in the group chat, they're just like behaving in like psychotic ways. I mean, it's just literally, this is like just being a bad person in general. The summary is just everything that you hate about like the way particular people tweet, where they're like over the top, uncharitable, and you know, constantly on some fucking epic conquest shit. You know what I mean? On Twitter, everybody does this stuff to a certain degree. Yeah, every e-girl is a 4chan shit poster when the camera ain't on them. Yeah, this is the e-girl Panama Papers. Yeah, pretty much. There's this one girl who apparently was like suspended off of Twitter and got unsuspended, and the people in this group chat were the people who caused her to get suspended. But when she got unsuspended, she was still in the group chat and was able to read all of the fucking conversations that were happening in the chat about her specifically. Okay. Gonna say Steph gave me COVID and called me the C word and then the N word. And if she says she didn't, I'm gonna say that was my experience. She had hers. I need her canceled immediately. I'm about to Photoshop her saying slurs, flames emoji. I attempted and then this is the girl that they're talking about. I attempted to take my own life days before my high school graduation. Now I'm graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree from one of the country's top public universities. Petition to get her to try again. Like they're like talking about how they're gonna try to get her to commit suicide. Listen, if there's anything anyone can come to me for is doxing and hacking people. I'm scared to post because of her. I don't know what this means. I hate drama so much. Nah, that's fair. Me too. I hate drama. And I'm positive I can scare that bitch shitless. And she's like insane. Hideous ogre monster with Belle Delphine lips. She doesn't look like that, bro. I spit out my drink. I know she doesn't let me fail, bro. She just looks like a linebacker. Like all these people saying I hate drama, they fucking love that shit. But honestly, it's just mental illness, dude. And we unironically look at this kind of shit and absolutely go, yes, queen, on Twitter especially, and on TikTok too. There are so many people like this. There are so many fucking people like this. It's petty. It's gross. You're just like a bad person. Like there shouldn't be any additional like systemic analysis about how women behave or whatever off of this. These are just like bad people. That's it. Yeah, they hate themselves. They hate everyone else. It's just like unhinged behavior. This is why This is why I never talked about why I actually stopped doing OnlyFans and posted pieces of myself. It wasn't the subs or the men on Twitter. It was the women in the community who were so full of hate and jealousy. It destroyed my mental health and self-image. Lamau. It's so funny looking at the comments, seeing certain people comment being like, wow, that's awful, when they literally stood by and watched two of them talk about me like this for almost 2 full years and still chose to support them, turn a blind on everything so fake. Yeah, it's just, it sucks. Like, people are so sad. There's people like this in this community as well. People in their weak moments have said horrible things as well. And I'm telling you, like, you got to stop with this shit. It's petty. It's gross. It's pathetic. Anyway, she's fat and she can die. Bro, I don't know. They all have egos. Oh, Rory, another thing Babby said about me, especially the fat, ugly, edited ones, was when I was overtaking Amber. Now it's okay, honestly. They're so competitive. That's it. It's just, that's it. Yeah. High school bully behavior. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people on Twitter have way too much time on their hands. And I can say this because I literally, when I was 17 and deranged, did the same shit where I would just shit talk people I hated. But now I just avoid them at all costs. But it's so weird that these girls will be fake nice and say a bunch of shit and are grown. It's just like I'm reading this and it's such a specific type of, like, we've all been there. We've all seen it. This is like how some stan communities, like, just straight up, this is how they fucking communicate. It's like a very specific type of communication that you see all the time. This, like, move from Tumblr to Twitter to TikTok, and, like, people think that this is I don't know, it's just like a normal type of communication. It's just straight up insane. You're behaving like a bully in high school or middle school or something, you know? But the unique aspect of this is that this kind of social bullying is, one, widely accepted, and two, is seen as like genuine, is seen as a substitute for like genuine social justice, and often conducted by people who are, and I talk about this all the time, like narcissistic and channeling their narcissistic desires by centering themselves in conversations that while grabbing on and latching on and hiding themselves under the aesthetics of social justice and progress. And when you hear this, when you see this type of communication, you see it all the fucking time. It's just you're behaving in this like incredibly abusive, manipulative way, but you're chronically online and you have surrounded yourself by people who see you as a virtuous figure. You prop yourself up as like every action that you're taking is actually a step towards social progress, a step towards justice. And it's not the case at all. And deep down inside, you're like an incredibly toxic, incredibly insecure human being. And there are ways that you can fix yourself, but do you know any of them? No, I don't know any of these fucking people. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know any of these people individually. I don't know the victim in this circumstance individually. I don't know any of these people. But what I do know is that I've met and seen and experienced and been on the receiving end of shit from exactly so many people that behave like this. We've all been there. If you're ever in a progressive Twitter space, or if you're any online community, if you're in any online community, there are people who are just like incredibly miserable and deranged, but they're ostensibly leftist, right? You think that they're leftist, so they use your empathy against you, basically. They weaponize leftist causes to make it seem like what they're doing is about social justice, when it's not about social justice. It's just about like them maintaining clout and them being able to manipulate people. I mean, that first conversation is like perfect. I'm just going to fucking act like this person lied, and other people will back me up in the group chat if I do that, with an effort to just like vilify someone for no reason. Not as the same thing of what's going on here, but this is the same type of stuff tender queer folks do. Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens in like political spaces, but aggressively so in like leftist internet spaces. It's just a byproduct of being hyper online, just chronically online. That's what's different about this community, at least. That's what I try to always eviscerate. That's why I think this community has the size that it's grown to the size that it's grown. It's one of the main points that I always specifically call out. But for that reason, I have been ass fucked by thousands of the most mentally ill people that behave like this online and are constantly getting fucking cyber stalked and cyber bullied to make other normies also think that I'm like this fucking weird SJW that behaves in this exact same way, which is why it's always shocking to so many people who come in here that are normies, that are in the margins, that are completely oblivious to politics, that have this perspective on me specifically, like thinking, oh, Hasan is a social justice warrior or whatever the fuck. And then they come in and they hear me shit on people like this and go, wait a minute, that's not the fuck. Wow, you built this community. That's how it is. That impression was cultivated by other people like this, radlibs, radfems. Okay? So, you see, and it is still maintained desperately by fucking weirdos on every side of the political spectrum. You're an out-of-touch rich social justice warrior, just own it. Like, Eventually, though, slowly but surely, we make progress regardless. But don't let people like this steer you away, okay? These girls are not leftists, by the way. They're super racist. I have a 20-minute video screen recording of an entire group chat. Yeah. Um, I'm stating that a lot of people that talk like this, that are deep down inside, personally, not holding on to values that they claim to have in the way that they present themselves. That's what I mean. Anyway, I think some people are just in it to feel morally superior instead of doing it because they think it's right. Hassan, what you're describing is personality disorders. Yeah, but like, there's also an additional problem there. Instead of fucking leaning into it, there is a way to overcome personality disorders. Like, you got to try. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck are you leaning into it like it's a trait, like it's a positive thing, and just like being horrific to people and then shielding yourself by saying, like, well, I'm just fucking, I have BPD or some shit, you know? That's crazy. Like that, you can't do that. That's insane. There are plenty of people who struggle with that aren't fucking pieces of shit, you know? It's just a cop out. And then they're calling out all of them in their own little friend groups are actually mad racist, but try to virtue signal in public. Same, like, ironic because like they're doing the same exact shit. You know. But this is what it is. I hate when chronically online people make up fake accusations and want to Photoshop shit to make others hate someone, but that's it. End of thread. Uses so much filler, it's crazy. A monster. I hate when white people use minority struggles and racism to make others hate someone. What the fuck? It's not their fight to fight or business. I'm sorry. You aren't responsible for your mental illness, but you're responsible for how you respond to it, especially when you're feeling well. Yeah. It's just chronically online people, dude. Yeah, look, I mean, this is where she had racist, one of them had like racist tweets themselves. Anyway. But of course, this is going to attract some of the worst individuals on the planet as well. Because like a lot of these fucking fan bases, a lot of these fan bases also have like chronically online 4chan weirdos who are like insanely hyper misogynistic and hyper vigilant about women behaving in this way so that they can just, use this as an example of how all women are like this. And it's just awful. It's just awful every way of the every step of the way. Every part of this is just dog shit. A lot of Gamergate motherfuckers are trying to jump in on this. Yeah. One of the girls reacted. She doesn't care. Anyway, it's just a sad, pathetic state of affairs. I just wish people would be more charitable to one another. I wish people would be kinder to one another. And unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it. You know what I mean? Social media rewards this kind of cruelty. Absolutely. What did the girl they're talking about even do? I don't fucking know. I don't even care. I don't know. I don't care. I just saw this and immediately it like zapped my fucking brain because it reminded me of like a certain type of communicating, and I see it in like leftist spaces and I fucking despise it and I shit on it all the time. It's very annoying. Yeah, I don't know what to. They don't care either. Lol. What? Definitely saw it and is choosing to stand her ground. What is this? I ain't reading all that. White women's tears got that gorilla grip, though. It's almost like nothing's going to happen. Motherfuckers post a bunch of shit out of context, and people are acting self-righteous, acting like they never talk about people. Anyone trying to cancel Usagi, send them my way? What does this mean? Not really. Majority of everything I said is literally trolling Lamont, bro. What does that mean? That screenshot is trolling. There's no way you actually think I do that. Like, okay, Lamont, what are they going to do? Like, who? Everyone talks shit. Yep, anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's just talking shit. Yeah, exactly. There are a couple different avenues that you can go down when shit like this pops off. You just say, "Oh, lol, I was just kidding. You took that seriously, and that's your fault." You can say, "I'm a minor and neurodivergent," which is like a famous one that we all laugh at. I'm a neurodivergent minor, lol. Like, why would you take me seriously? And it's like, you're right. I don't, but plenty of other people do not have. Like, unfortunately, we are still in the infancy phases of the internet. Okay. Like living life in this extremely online way. We are still completely oblivious to the consequences, to the way that it changes our attitude, our desires, our way of communication. I talk about this all the time. Like millennials, for example, all have fucking dumbass old tweets. Most millennials did not realize that like everything that you put on the internet is permanent. Okay. That's why in like 2016, there was like a culling basically leading up, or like 2015, 2016, there was a culling of like millennials that said dumb shit that people were literally taking at face value as though it like represents them now. You know what I mean? As though they didn't think that they were just like yelling into a goddamn, yelling into a goddamn crowded room by themselves, trying to be funny or whatever. And a lot of people then deleted all that stuff, and that's great and that's fine. But Zoomers grew up with that understanding, so they behave differently, but they still have like these kinds of attitudes still.